Today I've selected a couple of frames from the new CGI remake of Fist of the North Star to see how the series would look if it stuck to regular 2D animation. Despite the use of CGI animation, I find myself quite enjoying the series, but I still want to explore this concept out of curiosity. So without any more distractions, I hope you all enjoy. Oh, and before we start, I'd like to give a small spoiler warning to those who haven't watched or read the series yet. However, if you're not worried about any of that stuff, then please continue. The first shot that I'll be redrawing is this shot of Kenshiro reeling his fist back in episode 1. Now, if you've been keeping up with my social media, I'll leave a link to my Twitter in the description below if you want to check that out. Then you'll see that this isn't my first time redrawing a frame from the Fist of the North Star remake. I suppose you could call it a proof of concept to see if this would work, but this one that I'm working on right now is to see if I could actually get a decent time-lapse of me actually drawing the thing. And I'm proud to say that I'm happy with the final result. One thing that really bothered me about this shot was how there wasn't really a strong anticipation for a punch that'll turn guys into bloody confetti. Like this. So I made Kenshiro lean more into his punch and also intensified his expression to make him look more serious. Admittedly, I'd say episode 1 definitely has the weakest animation in my opinion, with odd animation choices like this shot. Why is the camera shaking for the final punch? I'm pretty sure it would have looked better without it. And which feels like it's not a good first impression for people who want to give this remake a chance. Now, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't all too familiar with Fist of the North Star before this outside of that one meme. You know the one.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
Because of that, I was never really influenced by nostalgia for the original anime series or their following films and spin-offs that would make me immediately dislike this series by comparing it to them. Despite that, when the first trailer of the remake came out, I, like many, were very disappointed when we first saw that they were going to use 3D CGI for the animation. But we'll save that conversation for the next artwork. Normally when I make my art, I use the program Krita to get the line art that I want. But when I move on to the coloring phase, I like to use paint.net because I find it easier for me to navigate. I'm sure there's a better method for coloring these in, but I can't be bothered. Looking good, Kenshiro. The next shot I'll be tackling is this frame of Kenshiro and Heart's fight from episode 4. Now, as I was saying, when the teaser trailer was revealed, I was thinking the same thing as what other people at the time were thinking. This looks like Berserk 2016 all over again, another anime adaptation that was ruined by 3D animation. Now, in retrospective, I don't think the animation was that bad. We just weren't given the best shots that could have been shown for a first look. Now, one of the complaints that I had in the first trailer was how desaturated everything looked, and granted, a lot of scenes still suffer from that. But I'm glad the anime also makes use of varied lighting to give different environments a unique feel, such as this one. And when the second trailer was released, we were shown some more satisfying shots of animation, and I began to grow more accustomed to this new style and began to be more hopeful. Now, the main problem I had with this shot was how Heart's head and face looked. Now, this isn't exactly a bad frame, but I felt his face was a bit too smushed for me. So I went ahead and changed the angle slightly to be more accurate to the manga. However, I don't know what it was. I'm not sure if it was procrastination or laziness or just overall difficulty trying to get the head right, but it took me like so long just to get the head to look right. It probably took me like, I think looking at the time lapse, I think it took like an hour, which really was a pain in my ass. I'm just kind of inserting this in the middle because yeah, I'm just kind of looking back at the footage and everything, but I guess I'll head back to the regular talk and everything. I also went and shrunk down Kenshiro because I feel like the anime misses chances to exaggerate the size of characters like Zed and Heart, like how the 1986 movie portrays them, making them feel like actual threats in Kenshiro's path. They have, however, done this for one moment in Kenshiro's fight with Spade, that, although short, really went in showing the rage behind his attack, so I wish they did that a bit more. I would also like to admit that when it came to drawing Kenshiro, I got a little lazy with him, so he might look a little scuffed, at least to me. But with that, Heart and Kenshiro are finished. Next, we have this shot of Shin from episode 5. The main issue I felt with this frame was that I felt Shin's expression didn't feel strong enough for the moment. So taking inspiration from the manga again, his expression almost shows a sense of insanity that the CGI model can't really express all too well. Now, there are shots where the models do look really nice, but sometimes I feel like these models weren't really given a flexible rig to push for more intense expressions. Now, one of the easiest examples of good 3D anime models to point to are the 3D models created by ArcSys and their games like Guilty Gear and Dragon Ball FighterZ that have shown themselves to be capable of making dynamic poses and expressions. taking unique routes to modeling and animating their characters to simulate 2D animated movement to great effect. And I was hoping if they were going to use 3D animation, it would be executed like this. Now I will admit, you can call me biased considering I've spent my first few years on my channel creating anime-styled mods for JoJo's All-Star Battle R, and eventually making my own 3D models of Johnny, Gyro, and Diego. I've even made my own animation using 3D models of Johnny and Gyro a while back, and it's my most popular video so far. Although then again, I'm not entirely familiar with the animation industry and how it works, so my complaints are really more like nitpicks, because aside from that, I really enjoyed the fight between Shin and Kenshiro, and they really used the 3D to their full extent to elevate their fight. Definitely an improvement from episode 1, to which I also want to point out that I feel like with every episode that comes out, the animation really does get better. There are a lot of scenes shown very early on that I've noticed being executed with better animation in the later episodes to really demonstrate how they're taking chances to give us cleaner animation with each episode. But this episode and episode 2 really are a highlight for me. And with that, we have another artwork complete. Next up, we have this shot of Double Rebirth. So the problem I have with this shot is that I felt that, although his design does feel quite monstrous, I wanted to make Devil look more angry and terrifying again, using the manga and his other appearances as main inspiration for his look. I also really like this deep shadow above his brow, almost looking like a deep crater on his face. Speaking of which, I was also planning on changing the angle of the lighting so most of his face can be covered in a menacing shadow. Now, I originally wanted to completely redraw this frame to be a one-to-one to the manga's depiction, but I think this angle is actually pretty fine. Puts you down to Jackal's level to really show off how huge this beast really is compared to him. Now, as you may have noticed, I haven't done any changes to Jackal here so far because I think he looked fine enough, and I don't think there's much I could have done to him. Also, I was starting to get a little lazy with this artwork. And before I... Huh? Wonder who that could be. Holy shit, it's DJ Gordito!
Hey! Yo guys, it's me, DJ Gordito 109. And I pretty much just came to drop by and talk about the English dub for the new Fist of the North Star anime. When the anime was first announced, the dub was one of the few thoughts I had. I was just wondering who would be playing Kenshiro, all this and that. And after a while, we finally got shown clips of it and...
This is your last chance to surrender.
Dude, I can't take him seriously, dude. What the fuck is this, bro? What is this? It's so dog shit! Kenshiro is currently being played by Clayton Alexander, who, by the looks of it, really only has 2 roles, which include Kenshiro and Max McAllister from Milky Subway. Most of the cast, even though they're not good, I wouldn't say they're bad. Like, it's fine. It's whatever. But I will say Kenshiro is the big problem in the dub. For one, he doesn't even sound like Kenshiro, and the many deliveries of a lot of lines just sound really dog shit. With that, I don't know how you can give someone like him a main lead role of a really big franchise like Fist of the North Star. If it was some fuck-ass anime like, I turn into my girlfriend's dildo and now I have powers. Like, if it was some anime like that, I would not give a shit. I don't care. But this is like a big franchise, you know? And you can't just fuck shit up like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, because of how shit the dub is, I had a pretty fun time watching it, just laughing my ass off. And the only thing I pray to God is that they don't fuck up Jaggy's dub VA. Please don't fuck him up! And yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Jeez, luckily he left already. Anyway, let's get back to coloring this thing. Surely it won't be that bad. Well, I guess he's done now. I'd like to take a moment to once again remind you about spoilers. At this moment, the next shot hasn't been shown yet in any episode, so it will spoil important story details. So if you don't want to encounter any spoilers for future plotlines, feel free to click off this video. But if you've read the manga or don't really care about any spoilers, then I guess let's move on. And now for our last artwork of the video. This split-second frame of Jaggy that was shown in the official MV for the Fist of the North Star opening. I really like how his model looks so far, and I can't wait to see how he's animated when we finally get to Jaggy's story arc. Admittedly, I wanted to do this one because I felt that the scars on his chest looked a little off compared to the more detailed scars on Kenshiro's model. It almost looked like a texture when I was looking at this, but while I was drawing, I just remembered that his scars were self-inflicted, so they weren't as deep or severe as Kenshiro's. My main point of reference when it came to making this artwork was the official promotion art of Jaggy when his voice actor was revealed. I had a lot of fun making this and adding all the detailed hatching on his body. I love the small instances of 2D animation that we get in the show, and they look great! But I feel like a full series with a style as complicated as Fist of the North Star would be a huge toll on the animators without having to simplify the art style heavily, such as how they did with the JoJo's anime. So I can understand why they wanted to use 3D animation, but maybe I'm just heavily biased since I've been making my 3D models and everything. But regardless, Jaggy came out amazing and I hope you all enjoyed these redraws. I'll be posting these on my social media if you want to view them individually, so please check it out if you want. But for now, I'll be letting you guys enjoy the rest of this speed paint in silence. Now this video wasn't made to critique the Fist of the North Star remake, nor was this made to change people's minds entirely. I believe 2D animation will always be better than 3D animation, but I don't hate the direction that this new remake is taking. The animation has gotten pretty good and I can't wait to see it get better further along. And if you're wondering why I don't exactly sound as excited as I could be, it's because I'm stuck here in Washington for a few weeks and it was certainly a pain to get this all together. And with all that, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see me make more content like this. I would also like to thank DJ Gordito109 for showing up for the video, even if it was for a bit. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. Alright, that was a great take. Fuck, my leg is sore right now.